Okay, it's time for you to take your Claude and make it an absolute genius across every element of your business. Let's get stuck in. No need for a big, massive intro here. So, this is the Claude brain. I'm going to break down each section for you as quick as possible. I'm also going to give you this document here where you can fill it in. It's got two tabs to it. This is your master document. Without it, everything I'm about to teach is just not going to land the same. Okay, so let me move this tab out of the way and let's get stuck in. So first things first, if you're not using Claude, then I don't know where you've been all your life. You need to use Claude. It is by far the best day-to-day LLM that is out there right now. However, like any AI software, AI LLM, it needs a ton of context. It needs you to train it. And for me, for most business owners who aren't ready to, hire someone like me to build an AI infrastructure or whatever for them, and they just need to work more efficiently, save money, make more money, and maximize their outputs and their team's output. This is the best way forward. So it all starts with a master context document. It's a Google Doc. You just fill it in once and you update it whenever something changes. So there's a couple of people who have been transitioning over from ChatGPT to Claude, but there's a few people I would actually recommend you just don't transition ChatGPT stuff over. If you're anything like me, you have been brainstorming the last few years with ChatGPT and it's been good, but actually it's a lot of misinformation that is in the past, stuff that you don't need to carry over to Claude. And there's a few clients, when we installed this Claude Brain for them, we never even transferred any data over from ChatGPT because we wanted a fresh, clean slate. And I think that could be useful for you as well. So you want to put in this doc, who you are, your goals, your voice, and your business. So I'm just going to give you some examples, 10 examples here of what you could put inside this Claude Brain. And then we're going to cover what's in the doc. So first things first, I'll go with this. The business brain. So this is your strategy, your decisions, and problem solving. So this is the project that you're going to set up so that when you go in and you ask it questions about your business, strategic questions, what to do next, how to uncover bottlenecks, what problem you're facing, whether that's with a particular, expenses, your profits, like if you're unsure where to go with your next marketing angle, your next launch, you come in here and you decide what's next. You can also remove the emotion of running your business by coming in here and getting Claude to be completely objective about it and move forward. So first things first is your business brain. Second is your content and marketing. So really popular one, your posts, your scripts, your campaigns, and your hooks. Claude's at a level now where it's not just creating content for you, it's actually looking at the full context of your business. And once you start to feed that information, like I'll give you an example. I've been scraping YouTube channels, scraping Instagram accounts for my clients to build them plans. And in doing that in the same chat, along with all the context that it has on the client, the outputs are frightening now. It's not even just writing content now, it's starting to look at the whole bigger picture. And it's creating even things like investment packs and the ability for you to reposition yourself in a market and stand out in a crowded, saturated market. And that's all coming from just pieces of content. So instead of just writing a piece of content on one struggle, it's thinking about the bigger picture, which is, of course, just crazy. Then we have sales. So this is obviously your proposals, your follow-ups, and your DM scripts. Again, like it can remember everything you've ever done. So it's starting to build up this incredible knowledge bank of handling objections and follow-ups. And you can literally copy and paste from emails or Instagram, LinkedIn, conversations you're having with prospects into this. And of course, as long as it's got all of your context, it's going to apply 10 times better outputs than just Claude itself would. Then we have client fulfillment, so any onboarding, your comms, your session notes. Then we have finances, so pricing, budgeting, and cash flow thinking. And then over to this side here, we have your team and staff, so SOPs, feed it all of your SOPs, job descriptions, team comms. And then you've got personal, so your goals, your personal planning, and your life admin. And then systems and automation, so this is your processes, your workflows, and your SOP creations. And then learning and research, so summaries, research, and staying sharp. Like, what is the topic right now that you're binging on that you want to get better at? So you want to spend time to make sure that you're preparing to learn every single day. And then we have coaching and programs, so course content, frameworks, and resources. So for example, I've got one of these that has all of my context. So whenever I want to add new trainings and resources to my clients, it just builds on top of each other and it just creates this curriculum that's incredible. So first things first, to make all of this happen, what you have to do is come over to your master document, which is here. Now, if you want this document, all you have to do is come over to Instagram. You'll find me here, chrisbradley.ai, and just give me a message saying, hey, watch your YouTube video. Could I get the master doc? And I'll send the master doc, which also has the Claude projects inside it. So this master doc really is the document in the brain behind your Claude setup. You fill it in once, you update it when things change. Everything Claude knows about you and your business comes from here. You complete every section as full as you can. Your answers fuel every Claude project you set up. The more honest and specific you are, the better the Claude performs across every area of your business. So it starts off with who you are, a couple of questions in that section, your business, your team and operations, your goals, your voice and tonality, content and marketing, your Claude project areas. So like I said, this is the 10 here that you can set up. You can add ones as well. And then anything else that Claude should know. Okay, so once you fill in that document, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Claude and you're going to set up some projects, right? So fill in this document. What you can do is you can come up here and export it as a PDF. That'll be absolutely fine. So obviously when you get this document from me on Instagram, you go to File, Make a Copy, and then you're just going to export it as a PDF, and that way you've now got your master doc. Now, as I explain here, what happens is you want to make sure you update your master document every time something big happens in the business. A new team member joins, you have a new offer that you've launched, a new goal, big client win, pricing changes, any major business shift, you make sure you come back to this. Honestly, if you're innovating and growing your business as much as you should be, every month you should be updating your master document. Okay, so that's that. Just coming over to this side here. If you're moving from ChatGPT, you want to start fresh here. Years of mixed context is why ChatGPT feels inconsistent. I'd recommend a clean slate for better results from day one. And over here, like I said, fill in the doc, paste it in each project and update it as your business grows. So once you've completed this, you're going to go to Claude and you're going to set up projects. And in this doc, I show you exactly how to do it. Now, there's one last thing I want you to tell you here with it, is that when you feed it in your master document, the next part is setting up these projects and understanding that the only thing left is prompts, and you may have to make sure you're giving it good enough prompts. So you've got crap prompts, you've got class prompts, and you've got GOAT prompts. So here's a business brain example of this, right? Help me with my business. A class version of this is act as a business advisor, help me make better decisions and plan my next quarter. A GOAT version of that is you're a direct, no-nonsense business strategist who has worked with small service businesses for 15 years. You cut through the noise and give blunt, actionable advice. My business is this, and this is where, to be honest, it's in your project. It's already going to be in the instruction section, but if you want to just add it here as well, do that. So instead of my business, you say, I've added my business context PDF. Rules, no generic frameworks, boom, 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 and then that's you for that. Then you move on to content and marketing, sales. To be honest, like once you've done this, you only really to do it once because it should start to perform like that. But sometimes it likes to, drift away from that and you can just rein it back in. So that's all the prompts to set up the projects. Remember, project instructions plus master context document equals Claude that knows your business. If Claude sounds generic, your instruction was generic. The output's is always a reflection of the input. The more specific you are about who Claude is in that project, how it should think, and what it should never do, the better every single conversation in that project becomes. And that is pretty much it for today's video. That is the Claude Brain explained in under 10 minutes, so as quickly as possible for you without any added on drivel. Go and install this for your business and watch your Claude take off, and therefore your outputs and therefore your business. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want this document, head over to Instagram and I'll be happy to share it with you.